Okay.
Okay. I'm saying it. And almost there. Alright. Receiving content. Alright, we are officially live.
Okay.
Alright. So, hello everybody, my name is Pretty Boy.
And my name's TK, sorry.
Is distracted by Kill Bill.
I want to watch the Kill Bill.
All the Kill Bills. Kill all the Bills. Except for Bill Murray. I like Bill Murray. The reason why we're streaming so late, guys, is because of the Super Bowl / dinners and such. So, I am so tired. Like,
yeah,
really,
how
really.
was your Super Bowl party?
Yeah, it was a bit of a thing. I'm not gonna lie. It took so long to do. Like, I'm not like against like certain things where it like takes where it's a long time, but like when it comes to like the Super Bowl, I just don't have like the I don't have like the desire to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but as it stands, guys, we are 100% happy to announce officially that we are having a new experience here on YouTube, and that is me and TK are going to be doing a new thing, a new show, the Manic Gaming Hour. I guess you would call it. I don't know. We don't go for an hour. That's the dumb part. We go for like 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. Holy shit! I just looked at my thing, like my optimizer. I accidentally clicked it, and it is shite right now. I am so surprised I'm running anything on my computer right now with any sort of efficiency. Holy crap. So that'll be something that I'll be fixing here in a little bit. Um so okay, here's one thing I want to talk about, and this is just this is really hugely based on I guess you could call it, this is just super based off the um god damn, my brain's like half working right now. Um so it's really based off of the idea of like you have um why is my brain not working right now? Okay, so I was sitting in my room the other day and I was reading through articles and one of them came up, Rachel, and I want to get your opinion on this. Alright.
Oh shit. Okay.
So you know how they've made really super realistic sex robots?
Yes.
Okay, so apparently there is a new one, if you will, that has come out. And it is a, shall we say, less than overtly desirable. It essentially what ended up happening is a guy ordered himself one of these robots. For those of you who don't know, the sex robots are robots that essentially exist solely for the purpose of having sex with them. They're basically blow up dolls that um they're essentially blow up dolls that um have like a mind of their own, if you will. So to get back to the story, all right, give you a full understanding as to what's going on. So this guy orders one of these online, and it's, you know, no, a typical thing, you know, whatever. He has it, he does his thing with it, and then he then reports it, and then it goes missing. Okay, so first off, it goes missing.
Yeah.
Then a few months later, like basically what ends up happening is that this guy got bamboozled into believing that he was purchasing a sex doll. Okay. And it turned out to be a real woman. And she was pretending to be a sex doll in order to have sex with him. In order
Oh wow.
for him to get her pregnant.
Oh my
And
god.
yes. So that they could so that she could sell him for sue him for alimony for child support.
Oh my god.
And it worked.
That's fucked up.
It's probably one of the most fucked up things I've heard of in a long time. But allow me to give a certain point of view, okay? So as a guy, we are constantly bombarded by the idea that that somebody is going to lie to us about birth control and stuff like that. So
is that why every time I'm with somebody I have to put their hand on my arm?
I think so, because okay, so let's put it this way, Rachel. Okay, let's say for a second that
you're cutting out like really bad. You sound underwater.
I want to make sure this is all.
I don't know if it's on my end or what, but it sounds underwater.
Bring you down. Yeah. How's that?
It's good.
Better? Alright then. Yeah, no, I had the thing turned down on my voice mixer. Okay, back to what I was saying. Okay, so like guys in general are always worried that there's gonna be a girl who's basically just going to lie about birth control, and at the end of the day, it's a real thing. It happens. Like, there are douchebags who are gonna do this and be like, "Oh, but it's your responsibility," and I just sit there like, "Bitch, it is not my responsibility. You know, my responsibility to an extent, but not like to the extent that you're expecting from me. You know."
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess it just makes me more mad. Like, the fact of the matter that, like, this guy, it wasn't like, oh, they had sex and, like, it wasn't something he could have predicted. That's my main thing. Alright?
Yes. Wait, did she end up pregnant?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I thought she was just planning it or something and somebody told them about it, but, like, nope, she actually did.
Yeah. Wow. Well, like, the thing, you were having sex with somebody, and okay, there comes up to like 2 points. One, how do you have sex with somebody and like not realize it's not a doll? Like, this guy had to be the most just the most like
virgin,
yeah, in the world, or he had to have liked. It was either he either had to be the virginal guy ever, or he had to have like not noticed at all. Does that make sense?
Maybe he was just like, this feels so good. This is a really good robot.
I guess, and I think that to a certain extent that's like the kind of the point. Like, but it was either that or this woman is like the most frigid thing in the world. Was like most frigid person in the world. I tend to go with that she was the most frigid thing in the world, beyond anything. All right, just gonna toss that out there because there is no way somebody can be that emotionally dead in their life and be like, yeah, this is totally, it's just totally okay. It's totally okay for me to be like, I don't know. I don't know. I can't.
Like, did she just like lay there and not make any noise at all and like completely still?
I don't think so. I think she may have done some stuff, but not like a huge amount of stuff. I think what she was there, and like she did some stuff like you would expect from a sex toy, and then like that in and of itself made it so that it was realistic. It It was realistic enough that way. Oh dear God. So I searched tentacles animated on Google, and I do
Oh
not have
no.
safe search. I do not have safe search on. Wow, that is a lot of porn.
I'm not
Superman,
surprised you searched
Supergirl,
animated tentacles.
Slither, let's see, Slenderman, just a whole shit ton. There's a lot of wow, there's a lot of stuff in here. I mean, like, yeah, but, okay. So what do you think? I'm like doing a free. I'm opening up a. Uh, I'm trying to find like something that we can do for tentacles for your thing that's animated. May work, but I don't know. So I don't know. It comes back to this thing where it's like, um, it goes back to the idea, like, okay, and this is something real. If a woman lies about birth control, does the guy still have to remain responsible for the child? Is there still does the woman still have the right to hold to child support?
I don't
And
know. And the reason I say that is because even if somebody didn't lie about birth control, there's always that possibility that the woman is going to get pregnant. So if the guy isn't going into it expecting that, then they're obviously not enough. They're not educated enough because it's always a possibility. Now, I'm not saying that people that lie about that are in the right because I don't think so. I think that it's completely wrong to tell somebody that you're on birth control when you're not. But the thing is that any guy who's with a girl, if they're not using a condom, should expect that there can be a pregnancy because there always can be.
yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. I'm of the opinion, like, okay, here's the thing, and this is gonna where I'm gonna like probably lose somebody on this one. Okay, I believe that if you have a I'm not saying that birth control it should be something that is 100% taken for granted. Okay, so like being being a guy, being somebody who has a 100% been into situations where like you're worried about this stuff happening. Um, because we had a scare. I had a scare with one of my exes, and I was really. It wasn't so much I was scared about it. It was more along the lines of like, oh, so this can happen, and it turned out that she was lying to me about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I understand like where people come from with this, but at the same time, it horrifies me to think of that somebody's lying. Like if you, I'm not trying to say like a guy. We shouldn't like do the whole thing where it's a guy and it's like, oh, she told me she was on birth control and that she must be lying. No, I'm talking about like, how should I put this? If you're a girl and you have sex with a guy and you decide that you're going to lie to him about being on birth control, then there should be there should be like some weird clause. I don't know. It's this weird thing where like I guess I have less worries about it because I don't have to worry about somebody lying to me about this stuff. Because I don't do
Okay.
random hookups.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I wanted to say, how are you going to prove that though? Like I understand the concept, but how
Yeah.
is that going to hold up in court? How do you prove that this woman lied to you about it?
And that's the big problem is that you really can't. You can't prove one way or another that this woman lied about anything. You have to deal with the consequences. That's the tough part. Is like with anything that involves anything sexual, you're dealing with this concept where you're like, it's very likely this person is lying to me, and I guess the best way to avoid this altogether is make sure the person that you're gonna have sex with is somebody you actually trust. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm of the I guess this is up in the air for me, guys. What is what's your opinion when it comes to this, Rachel? Like, how would you stop? Um, how would you stop somebody from being able to do this?
You know, honestly, I don't know if there is a way to stop somebody from doing that. I wish I could come up with some magical solution, but the fact is that people are going to lie, and that people are going to manipulate people to get what they want, and there's way too many cases of women being like, hey, I'm on birth control when they're not because they want a baby. Like, it happens all the time, and I don't know how to prevent it.
Rachel, I think I may have found a solution to this.
Okay, what's your solution?
Medical records.
Very true. Here's the only problem with that. If you're like me, you lose shit. I used to have a card that said that I had my implant put in. I have no idea where that card is.
Well, that's the thing, like, okay, your hospital will have records of you, of this for you. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, Planned Parenthood does. I don't know if the hospital does.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm just of the opinion that, like, if you are a person who honestly is just trying to do this to get with a guy, or to make this guy a baby daddy for you, then one, find some mental help. Like, 100% get some mental help, because you obviously have an issue that needs to be helped. Okay, there's something there that needs to be assigned. There needs to be something that needs to be, I guess, affected. Like, you yourself should not have the determination of being an adult with this power, because that's the thing, and this is where it's going to come across really bad. Women have so much power when it comes to sex with this stuff. All right, like a woman has like so much power when it comes to like sex, and you know what they can do when it comes to this. And I'm not trying to say like, oh, there should, what I want is, I want a freaking male birth control. That's what I want.
Like, yeah, but like they gotta work out the kinks, because right now, like the last one they tested had too many problems.
Yeah, and like, okay, that brings me to another thing that I feel like we should talk about when it comes to this whole thing. 100% to anybody who's like, oh man, the male birth control failed, and ha 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 ha, it failed because the guys can't take the same. No. For one, go fuck yourself. It was not the same. These were not the same side effects as that they were having. These were not the same side effects. They were so different as far as like what you were dealing with. All right, the side effects were like freaking, you know, like this was like suicidal depression and shit that these people were dealing with. I don't know. I guess I'm just sitting here. I'm like, there is a person out there who's going to take everything out of context with this. There's going to be somebody who sits down and says to themselves, I don't know. I guess it bugs me to a certain extent. I was wanting to talk about this because it's funny that there was a guy who essentially got a girl, basically got fooled into thinking that a sex doll was that advanced. Either that, or that girl was absolutely horrible when it came to, came to sex. Because I looked up on it. You actually have to buy a special lubricant for the doll. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So that means that girl had to have been so frigid that she absolutely had no ability of getting wet at all. And to that, I say, congratulations, you frigid bitch. You are the worst. That's all I'm gonna say for right now. Because obviously there's a whole nother side to this story. There's a whole nother concept that can be brought about, but I do want to toss. I want to toss my 2 cents into this. Is what I basically wanted to do. because obviously there's more to the story than just some guy bought a sex doll and it turned out to not be the sex doll he wanted. You know, it turned out to be a real woman that was going to use and abuse him. I don't know. Let's move on to another topic while we can. While this ship sinks, let's move on to the next one. So have you heard of Fallout? Have you heard of Far Cry, the Far Cry series of video games?
Yes.
Okay, do you know what they're about?
Possibly.
Okay, so the Far Cry series, um, um, so the Far Cry series, essentially what it did is it's a video game about just crazy world, a crazy world. That's basically what it's about. All right. So when you talk about it, it really does come into, oh, this is a crazy world that is basically just a giant, yeah, just so much fun. So I decided to take a look at the latest game that just came out, and that is the they just recently came into a thing where they came out with a new one, Far Cry 5. And guess what it's about? Guess where it's set in?
What? Where?
Montana.
Why?
Well, here's the thing. When I say Montana, they literally put it in Montana, okay? I'm just gonna toss that out there. They put it in Montana, and they did it because they wanted to basically do what I'm guessing is probably the biggest thing of shock gaming, if you will, which is they wanted it to be, oh my gosh, look at this. We're putting it in like the most rural backwoods thing ever, and you're basically going to be attacking and killing Trump supporters. That's literally the game. That's literally what like a lot of people are saying the game is. It's like, yeah, there are people with MAGA hats on, and they're essentially the game is just you're in the town, and essentially yeah. So it got me curious as to it got me curious along the lines of like, is this going to get a lot of publicity from it? And I don't believe it did. Alright, so let me explain, okay? So when they were talking about it like a long time ago about how oh, wrong button. When they were talking about this like a while back, I thought they were like talking about like this idea of like, oh, you have all these different characters, you have all these different things, and then you have this stupid thing where it's like, oh yeah, we also have this I don't know. I guess in my mind, like, would you be insulted if they made a game like that? Like, does that game sound offensive to you?
No.
Why?
Because I don't give a shit about that, because I don't like Trump.
Exactly, but like that's so weird, and that's what makes it weird in my mind. Okay, so like, okay, this is like gonna be like hugely just me basically shooting off at the hip with this, but when it came down to the whole thing, like, let's put it this way: I don't care if Trump's president or not. I really don't. He's an idiot. He really doesn't know what he's talking about, and obviously shouldn't really be president. But in my idea, like, they're going after the wrong things about Trump with this. They're basically saying, oh, it's not Trump that's an idiot. It's the people who supported him that are idiots.
I think they're both idiots.
That's... Okay.
Sorry. I live in the land of Trump supporters right now. And I have to say, they're idiots. Maybe not all Trump supporters are idiots. I don't know. I don't speak for all Trump supporters. But every Trump supporter I've met is kind of an idiot.
Okay, but again, it comes down to this idea where would you give? But here's the thing: okay? Would you rather it be? Would you? How offended would you be if the game was set in like, the Middle East? All right. Or and you were taking down Muslims. Or no, it was set in rural Europe, and you're going after like refugees.
I'd probably be offended.
Yeah, I mean, and this is where I'm going to come into my probably somebody's going to get mad at me about this, but there is a level of I guess the best thing I'd say is that there is a level in which you have to look at it from the other person's perspective. I'm not trying to say like just on my own I can never say that what this is or what this isn't is good or bad. I will never ever try to say one way or another about that because there is no point in me saying this is good or this is bad. Okay, there's no point to it. I am a straight white guy in a blue state who was raised in a very religious environment. Okay, I don't have an opinion that could really matter on this one. All right, my opinion seems like people would already assume what my opinion is. In all reality, I don't care. I can understand both points of view, though. If you're looking at it from the perspective of somebody who is in these areas, okay, somebody who is in the area of, Montana, which we're very close to Montana, aren't we?
Yes.
Like, we're going there on a trip in, like, 2 weeks, and, like, 100%, like, we have a friend who lives in Montana, and we have this, and it's such a weird concept for me to have it be, like, so close to home. I think that's where they kind of where they kind of shot themselves in the foot with this one, alright? Because, essentially, you're saying we are the animals now, and basically, you can say, like, the people who've been playing these games are like, wow, every other country is just terrible. They have these horrible dictators and all these people. And it's like, yeah, we're like one step away from that. Like, I know how violent people can be when it comes to any sort of message, political or otherwise. Like, we have crazies in our towns. Like, we have messed up stuff that is going on in this whole thing. And I think that's just... Yeah, that's 100% true. Like, you have once... Like, anytime anybody's like, that person could be the next Hitler, I'm like, yes, everybody can be the next Hitler. Anybody could be the next Hitler.
That's the thing. That's the thing that people don't realize is, like, people put Hitler in this, like, place of he was such an evil person and, like, all this. But the truth is he was just a person. He was just a person who did awful things. And every human being is capable of awful things. It's really a matter of what we decide to do, of what our decisions are, because we're all capable of good and evil, and we have to decide which path to take, essentially. Like,
well, I think that's the big thing, is that you deal with this stupid thing where you're like, oh hey, we have like we're super smart and we know what we're talking about. Here in America, we're like, again, we're one step away from just being this terrible, horrible thing. Like, going back to something horrible, down in the South until like the early 60s, the KKK ruled that area. There was literally a case where one of the Grand Wizards of the KKK raped a girl, and they let her go. And one of the guys was like, "Why'd you let her go?" And she's like, "Doesn't matter if she says anything. They'll never do anything. I'm too powerful." That's 100% true. Anytime you give any one person so much power, you're gonna cause horrible chaos. And that's the reason as to why, democracy is probably the best form of government. Because nobody stays in power, like, for very long. Alright? Which is why I'm actually really glad that, like, and this is gonna sound weird. This is really why I'm glad Hillary wasn't made president. Not because of her politics or anything else. Like, I don't agree with her politics personally. I don't believe that she did right by any means necessary. But that family has stayed in power for far too long. Same with the Bushes. All right. When you're in
the
power,
Bushes were in power way too long.
yes, way too long. Like, when you're thinking about it, the amount of power that these people wield has to remain very small. Okay, it'd be much worse if like Jeb Bush was made president. So Jeb is kind of like the black sheep of the family when it comes to this. But I think it would be. It's another reason why I couldn't support him. I love the guy to death. He seemed so nice. He seems like such a nice guy, but I would never support him because his family essentially would have ruled the country for upwards to a century, half a century, right, under one family rule. That's crazy. Terms and conditions are term limits are so important for a politician. You get that much stuff, and oh no, you need to have terms and conditions. And look at, like, here's the thing. No matter how much you hate Trump, he's gonna, like, the maximum he'll be in office is 8 years. Okay, the maximum is 8 years.
And he's probably not going to make it to 8 years because a lot of people who voted for Trump actually regret it. Not all, but a lot.
Okay, but here's the thing, Rachel. If he does, he will be the first president not to finish 2 terms since JFK. I kid you not.
Damn.
Every other president since then has done it. And guess what? Every other president before then, since the inception of the 2-term limit, has been president for 2 terms. And before then, it was even longer. Like, if you're a president, you essentially are president. That's how people think of you. Do I believe that this may be overthrown with Trump because he's an idiot? Maybe. Do I believe a lot of people have started hating him that voted for him originally? Yeah, but same with Obama. Do you want to know his numbers were when he first got elected?
What?
His approval ratings were 62% when he first got elected. Okay, 62% of America thought he could do the job as president. Alright? So, he essentially, okay, but here's the thing. When he got reelected, do you know what that number was?
What?
48%. He legitimately, half of America did not believe that he should be president. The only reason why he still got elected is because a lot of people didn't want to have Mitt Romney, the guy who's literally sitting there with an ironing board, rubbing it on his arm. Have you seen that, Kev?
No, I haven't.
He ironed his suit while he was wearing it.
Oh, God
damn it. Yeah, like, I'm sitting here like, God damn it, Mitt. God damn it, Mitt Romney. But no, in my mind, that's 100% true. All right, you have these people, they know what they're doing. All right, and they're probably going to be elected for 8 years because people don't like change. All right, a lot of Obama's main group didn't like what happened with him. All right, and so many people may say Trump's not doing great as president, but you have to look at actually what he's done. All he's really done is get into Twitter fights. And
yeah, but he's getting into Twitter fights with Kim Jong-un.
Can we just admit that the world we're living in is literally world leaders threatening nuclear war over a social media outlet? Like, no, my dick's bigger than yours. No, my dick's bigger than yours. Like, we're sitting here and we're like, this is the world we live in. I don't even know. Okay, so okay, here's the thing that I really want to be. I have to hold back these conversations throughout the week, by the way, Rachel, because I'm like, man, I want to talk to Rachel about this, but I'm like, save it for the Talk Nerdy to Me podcast.
So this is interesting. This is definitely interesting that we're doing this though, because you're a more Republican person and I'm a more like Democratic person.
I think it's because, like, to an extent, even though I say I'm religious, right? Okay, I am religious. I do fall much more conservative, and I'm much more of a Republican-minded person, as in, I believe that the Republic is grander than the people. Alright, just tossing that out there. The people serve the government, and in turn the government protects the people. That's how it should be. Not the government protects the people, and the people try to protect the government. Same basic concept, but which one do you invest in? I'm sorry, invest in the government so the government can invest in us. People are shit. Alright? At least with the government we can build rules. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So, they, God damn it. So, you know Elon Musk had sold flamethrowers, right?
Yeah.
So apparently, this is probably really one of the funnest things I know. Apparently, he came across a very interesting problem with delivering said flamethrowers to the people who ordered them. You know what that is?
What?
A lot of companies will not deliver an item with the description flamethrower in it. For some unknown reason. So, do you want to know how he fixed this problem?
How?
He fixed it by calling it not a flamethrower.
Not a flamethrower.
Yes, that's what he's changed the description of the item to. Not a flamethrower. Like anybody else could be like, extra large blowtorch, or extra large blowtorch, or anything else. But no, he used legitimately like, not a flamethrower. I'm just gonna stick a sign on it. There you go, not a flamethrower. Alright, do you not like fun? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Elon Musk so much. Because I'm half waiting for him to reveal that he has like an underground missile and he's going to melt the polar ice caps or something like that. So we all have to live underwater. Like, I feel like Elon Musk is like, hey, like, he's just going to reveal one of the days, hey guys, check it out. I put a giant heat generator in the middle of the Arctic. The world's going to flood. We could get on this awesome rocket to Mars. And I'm just sitting here like, oh my gosh. I half believe Elon Musk is going to try to kill us all to save us. He's the world's greatest Bond villain. If I had to pick anybody who I think Elon Musk is gonna end up like, he's probably gonna end up like Valentine in Kingsman. Listen, man, money's not my issue. You know, hiring Luke Skywalker to freaking build him a doomsday device. I don't know. I'm of the opinion like he's an evil genius. This guy's an evil genius. So, all right. So I'm gonna open up the can of worms again that we kind of opened with the sex robot thing. With this, with another fun topic. There is a new app. All right. Where you can establish a basic contract with another user of the contract, alright? First off, okay? That is based on the concept that you are allowing them to have sex with you. So it's basically a consensuality clause of like sex, and like they're making it like really, really weird where it's like, I consent to, you can have like full consent, minor consent, consent to certain activities or anything like that, consent for a certain while, and it's this app. And legitimately how they're describing it is working is, you go out and you find somebody and you like start talking to them like, hey, you want to go back to my place? And I'm like, sure. Okay, let's work this app together. My username is, do you consent to have sexual relationships with me? And I'm just sitting here like, I understand where that's coming from, but I don't know. There's just like something so stupid about it in my mind.
Yeah, no, the concept seems kind of weird to me. But like at the same time, I can understand where it's coming from because, you know, then you can prove if you gave consent or not.
Exactly.
But
Like you sit there and you're like, I'm gonna sit here and have I'm gonna have sexual, like, in such a huge way. It really does help because, and again, I think it's really kind of cool if you're consenting to certain things. All right, so like, I just think it's like the world's biggest mood killer though. Because think about it, if like you consent to this activity and this activity, it's literally you go down the line and like check. I consent to oral. I consent to vaginal. I consent to.
oh, you gotta go down the line and check it. You can't just say I consent.
No, it's not just I consent. Because like, let's say, okay, Rachel. Let's say I find a nice girl, and using this app, we both consent to sex. Okay, we get back to her place, and she's like, "Hey, do you want to try anal?" I'm like, "Sure." She's like, "Okay, I'll be right back." She comes back in with a strap-on and a giant bottle of lube and says, "Bend over." And I say, "I don't want to do that." Which then horrible, unspeakable things happen. I basically consented to because I clicked yes on an app. Okay.
Maybe they would specifically say like not oral, anal receiving versus like giving.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what I'm saying. Like this has to be a very specific application. And I'm thinking to myself, like, having to run down that in like in a bar, like, hey, do you want to go like, chat jumps? Like, sure. Well, let's look at this application real quick and let's run down the lines of things that we're okay and not okay with, and have to run down this like a freaking like contract for like a business deal. It's like, all right then, I consent to giving anal sex. I don't consent to receiving. She's like, I really want to give anal as well, but I'm also open to the idea of receiving. Okay then, I can. How about this? I will consent to giving you oral sex in regards to you consenting to receiving oral sex and not giving it to me. Like going back and forth like that in a bar, like that would be the funniest shit in the world.
It'd be like you were signing a contract.
It literally is signing a contract. You're consenting to having sex with this person. My favorite part about this thing is like the time, like a time lapse on this. Like I consent to having sex with this person for the next 12 hours. I'm sorry, that is hilarious. Are you fucking kidding me? Just being like, oh yeah, next 12 hours I can do whatever I want. Like that would be the equivalent of like, I don't know, that would be the funniest thing in my mind for anything, Just and that would probably also like work as like a pickup line for like a girl trying to kick up a guy and says, "Hey, what's your username on this app?" It's like, "Oh, it's I bang hot chicks 1245 or whatever." And she's like, "Okay, here, I sent you a request." And she sends her his consent request, and she's like, "Well, we didn't discuss anything." She's like, "Whatever, it's a 12-hour consent form. Do whatever you want." And then like he takes her to like a amusement park or something like that. I'm like, "Whee! You're paying for everything."
I would do that. I'd be like, if somebody was like, it's a 12-hour consent form, do whatever you want, I'd be like, we're going to an amusement park.
You can't say no. Whee! Because that's like, there has to be like some like thing where it's like you break the contract or something like that. I don't know. I think consent forms is just like you're consenting to participate in the activity. Whether or not you actually participate in it is completely like invalid. Like, if you run away, there's still like you have the ability to run away. Like that's my main thing. I think the biggest problem with this is the fact of the matter that it doesn't stop you from not having sex. It just basically makes it so that it's okay to have sex. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, like somebody can still like tie you down even though you don't want to because you gave them 12 hours of consent.
See, and that's the thing that I don't like about it is because let's say you're in the situation that I was in where you give consent and then you don't give consent, like you change your mind, which is totally possible to happen. You've already given consent. You can't prove, this person can just be like, they gave consent according to this form, and you're like, yeah, but I withdrew consent, and you can't really prove that you withdrew consent.
Well, and again, that comes down to like, I consent. Like you could literally hit, I consent to I do not consent to anal. Like 100%. Like that's what could have happened or whatever. And it's like Like that whole thing could have like been.
You mean in my situation? Yeah. No, I would have. I would have been like, I do not consent to this. And then if you did that, then it would be like, oh, you did something that I didn't consent to. But then the question is, well, actually, never mind. I was going to say the question is, how do you prove it? But you can prove it with a rape kit where it was. So never mind. Yeah. You can prove it.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. In my mind, just the idea of having an app, like a consent app, is just the funniest thing in my mind. Okay?
I kind of like the concept, though. It's funny. Like, but I get the concept. I think that it's a really interesting thing because, you know, it'll also prevent people from it'll prevent, because I know this happens, it'll prevent, like, girls from being like, hey, I regret this, I'm gonna say they raped me.
It also stops a lot of, like, miscommunication with guys. Like, and this is not to defend any guy who does not stop when the girl says no when you're doing something. I believe that there should also be a clause in there, the no clause, alright? Where if somebody says no, it basically stops them from, like, that should stop. That should not.
All consent is void if somebody says no.
Exactly. This basically just stops non-verbal, like, arguments. It basically just saying, this is consent. If you don't say anything, then it's a problem. And I can understand, like, why that can still come across as a problem. It eliminates some problems while just not addressing others. But I don't think it makes anything worse.
No, it definitely doesn't make anything worse.
It just is super awkward to talk about. Like, having to bring that up to, like, a one-night stand or a random hookup is probably, like, that would probably be the dumbest thing ever. Like, hey, I have this thing on this app. I need you to consent to this, otherwise I don't feel comfortable. It'd literally be like the equivalent of being like, hey, I can't get it up unless I'm filming this on a webcam. Like, we don't have to record it, it just has to be, like, on the computer that we're doing it.
Although, as a woman, I would say that I would greatly respect somebody who's like, hey, will you sign this consent form saying you consent to this? Like, I don't know if it's a mood killer. I would have to be in the situation to really figure it out. But, like, I will say that I would respect somebody who did that.
Let's do a roleplay. Let's roleplay this, Rachel. Let's roleplay this. Hey man, hey girl. Listen, I would very much like to take you upstairs and crush your puss. Would you consent to that? Listen, this is no laughing matter. I need you to sign this form. Alright, I need you to sign here, initial here, here, and here, and finally sign here, and then I need you to take this ink print, and I need you to put your thumbprint into this box here, consenting that you're okay with the contract of the sexual encounter that we're about to have. Is this okay? I'm just thinking of the PC house and freaking South Park. Whoa, bro. Did you get cunnilingus last night? Did you get your cunnilingus consent form? Yeah, bro, right here. Awesome, man. Alright, man, anybody got good? Anybody got laid? You need to give me the consent forms. Like, if it was like, here's the thing, the only reason that this will work is because it's an app, and it's not like physical paperwork or something like that. But right then, sign here, as to just go over this part with you here, you, party A, are consenting to sexual encounter with me, party B. In this case, we shall have sex during a 12-hour period from, enter the time here, it's 8:32, so we'll go 8:32, we'll go 8:45 to 8:45, alright, PM to AM, alright then, so what are we gonna do for, like, the next 15 minutes? Because I can't crush your puss unless we're inside that window.
Fucking done.
It's so funny, but it works so well. Like, as an idea, it probably would work really well if it, like, actually, like, I believe it would work really well if you had, like, a thumbprint scanner on your phone as well. That way, if somebody can't, like, just hack your phone and, like, give you consent for the next 12 hours and then horrible things incur.
Any like newer phone have a thumbprint scanner.
Yeah, and that would work really well.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, that would be easy too. You'd, like, open the app, somebody would just put their thumbprint on the thumbprint scanner, and that would be, like, their signature, and then that would be it. And then you could just, like, that would be okay, because, like, you wouldn't have Apple's, a lot of stuff going on.
Apple's new iris scanner thing. Alright, I just gave you Yeah, I just gave you consent. My eye's burning a little bit. I think that's a mood killer. Give me like 15 minutes to get some eye drops. Fucking mess with it.
Speaking of phone, what phone should I get when I get a new phone? When my friend comes to visit, I'm getting a new phone.
iPhone. I love iPhones.
Should I get an iPhone?
I don't know, bitch.
I don't know. Like, the iPhone 10 doesn't look like the greatest phone. I'm kind of torn between the Moto and the Samsung.
I don't know. You do you. I have an.
Okay, this is gonna sound really stupid, but like it's an observation I've made, and it applies to my life in some form, so I'm gonna talk about it. I like the emojis better on iPhones than I do on Android.
Oh yeah, that right there. That's the reason why. No, I'm
not saying that's gonna be the deciding factor. I'm just saying I really don't like the emojis on Android.
So hey, Rachel. I got something to talk to you about.
So maybe I will get an iPhone 10 because apparently that'll be the deciding factor.
Yep, that is the deciding factor. So guess what?
What?
Not next week. Or the week after that, or the week after. Actually, we're actually coming up on the We're actually coming up on the. So March 4th, 1 month from now, is the 10 episodes of Talk Nerdy Anime podcast. I want to do something special for it, alright? I want us to do a reading of some smut. Alright?
Okay.
Of Vivi and Zidane from Final Fantasy IX.
Oh my god! You mean Zidane?
Zidane? No, we're calling him Zidane. I'm gonna look this up. I'm gonna pronounce his name. 1 second. Zidane. Zidane. 9 pronunciation. There it is. Dang it.
Zidane.
Go fuck yourself.
Zidane.
Look it up in Japanese.
How do you pronounce Zidane? Zidane?
Wait. Do the little sound thing.
No, I'm not doing that. That was literally a YouTube video.
Oh, that doesn't mean that it's accurate. Have you seen half the videos that talk about sounds?
Zidane?
Where did you find this?
This is on GameFAQs. I played Dissidia, and it's Zidane.
Zidane.
And that is.
I thought it was Zidane because that's like. But like, it also
Zidane.
Depends on if it's a Japanese name or not. Because if it's not a Japanese name, obviously you don't pronounce it like a Japanese name. It's just I thought it was a Japanese name because you can get Z and Da and Ne.
All right, so apparently, this is from like the Dissidia. Pronunciation is Zidane.
Okay, Zidane.
Zidane. All right then. So during Zidane and Vivi smut reading, which
oh god,
can I admit that got fucking crazy. Like just so much fun with that. For those who don't know, we had a very special encounter. We have started up a new show, guys. So it's going to come out on the 15th, and I actually have something very special to show you guys, and I'll share this with Rachel as well. Actually, Rachel, if you want to go look at this on the actual stream itself, it's the newest thing, Manic Gaming. It's the crest for it. It's purple. It's got lightning. It's got our pictures in it. Got it. Yeah, I'll show it to you on Discord real quick.
Yeah, okay, good, because I was gonna go to you. I don't want to go find.
There it is. The show is basically gonna have this is its I guess what would you call this?
It looks almost like a family crest.
Yeah, it really does. So this is the Manic Gaming logo.
Are those tentacles?
Yes.
Where
Purple
are their
tentacles.
section things?
Oh no! I actually dragged them off of an Omnisaur from Pokemon.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's where I got it from. I gotta admit, I'm really liking it because I'm gonna use that. We actually have to do an opening thing for it where it's like, we'll have to record that after this. It'll be really quick, just like us going do Manic Gaming do or something like that. Or it's like, hey Rachel, how you feeling? And you'll be like, Manic, and it's Manic Gaming time. Or then you'll be like, hey Rachel, how you feeling? Depressed. Well, it's Manic Gaming time. Depressed.
Do I have to do that every intro? You're gonna ask me what my mood is?
No.
Would love it. No, if you did that, my counselors would love it because they tell me to record when I feel manic and depressive, and I'll be like, "Here's the recording from last week. Look, I was depressive."
Wait, are you also doing a scene where you're actually consistently having sex with a young boy? Wait, oh no, are you playing as a young boy having sex with a man with a tail?
Don't watch the whole thing, just the opening.
They'll be like, oh wow, this is actually really interesting. I bet my kids would love this. Oh, Honey Pop, that sounds so nice. It's like, hey, Honey Pop, oh honey. It's like that song, and you're gonna be too embarrassed to be like, no, yeah, and they'll take their kids to it, and like the only saving grace about that Let's Play will be the fact of the matter that I'm gonna censor everything.
But not the moaning.
Not the moaning. I gotta admit, I'm actually really liking this, but as far as it goes, we're really excited about Manic Gaming because it's just like, it's been so much fun. If it gets off the ground and becomes a really popular show, we'll make it its own channel. That's the only bad thing, is we're gonna have to make it its own channel. But I'm happy about it. As well, we're actually going to be doing a trip to Montana here in the next couple of weeks, which I'm really excited for. I finally got the time off work for it. Oh my god. It took forever. Like, forever.
Well, I'm glad you got the time off work.
Yeah. I don't know. Here's the other thing. Valentine's Day. It's coming up soon.
I'm not sure what I'm doing on Valentine's Day. It really depends on the moodiness of the person I'm supposed to hang out with.
Yeah. I also believe, okay, here's the thing. I believe that we should do a special episode of the podcast next week based around Valentine's Day for you lovely people, you wonderful people. What do we call our audience even?
I have no idea.
I want to call them the perverts. The pervs.
The pervert.
Yeah, the perverts.
Well, if somebody listens to us, like, do the reading of, like, Dawn or whatever.
We're also...
Vivi.
Hey, Vivi. You wanna take our shirts off and make out? Totally okay. It's not even gay. Be sure you're not even a full-blown... You're not a guy, you're not a man. You're a boy. Boy with a tight little asshole. Join it, I'll even watch while we do it.
Oh god.
It is now my headcanon that Garnet is a Fujoshi.
Garnet is a Fujoshi. It's official. Fujoshi.
Oh my gosh. Plus, while you're here... Ooh! I just remembered, you're going to be here on Tuesday. Or next Tuesday. we should do our Honey Pop gaming. You should play it. Or Honeycam. Honeycam.
Are you gonna pick me up?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure where I'll be. I might. What day is that?
Downtown?
The 13th?
Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah, the first day I get in.
Yeah.
I might be hanging out with Jay if me and Jay are still hanging out.
Okay.
And
wait. Doesn't Jay?
You might have to pick me up at Jay's, but I'll give you the address.
Yeah, doesn't he live out in Pound Town?
Really? We're getting lunch and coffee. We're getting lunch and coffee.
Is it hot coffee?
No, it's iced coffee because I like iced coffee better.
Oh, okay. If it's hot coffee, then Jay lives out in Pound Town. I saw probably the best thing ever. It's like this Tinder thing. It's like, hey, I got a black belt in being smooth. She's like, yeah. So it says you're like 32 miles away. Where do you live? And she gives out like a town name. It's like, huh. I don't know where that is. The only other town I know that's out that way is Pound Town. Like, yes. That's like the best Tinder pickup line ever. It's like, hey, do you want to come over to my place? I don't mind picking you up. Really? Yeah, I don't have any problem at all taking you over to Pound Town.
Oh my god.
I love the idea of treating it like a physical place.
I'm so done. Do you want to ride the bone train, Morty?
Oh yeah. Take the bone train going anywhere.
Took the midnight bone train going anywhere.
I'm actually looking up VVX Zidane.
If this actually exists, I'm done with the internet.
Vivi and Zidane. First thing, Vivi and Zidane or Vivi and Zidane peeing together. Yep, Vivi and Zidane peeing together is the #1 thing. I wonder what Vivi and Zidane were doing in Madane's Sorry when Vivi put down and it was night. He couldn't sleep. Oh my god! This is so twisted! Wait a second, I'm looking at the final...
I'm looking up fanfiction.
Fantasy 9. Fucking hell. What are we doing with our lives? Oh wait, oh yeah, I want that picture though. Fanfiction. Okay.
The Warmth of Final Fantasy IX fanfiction. Oh, but I don't know if that actually... I didn't put X. Sorry. I fucked up.
I found it. Zidane. Alexandrian Animal House. This fanfic is a parody of the movie on National Lampoon's Animal House. Zidane and his friends struggle through college life in the Delta Chi Tantalus fraternity at Alexandria University. Here's another one. Wait, this is a reviews? Don't read this unless you hate yourself. What is going on? Please don't kill me, I don't want anything. Zidane hadn't meant to be a peeping Tom. Well, maybe that was a lie, but the person he was peeping on sure how wasn't meant to be Vivi. It just sort of happened. He had thought of the one showering was Dagger. He was going to use this as an excuse to see her naked and hopefully not get slapped. His plan might have worked. The only problem being the person taking the shower time hadn't been the princess.
What the fuck? I'm done! I'm done with the internet! I'm done!
No, wait, here's one. It's not fair, Vivi panted. What's not? I'm naked and you're not. Zidane smirked and pulled away. He slowly stripped off all of his clothing, making it into a show for the blushing boy before him.
I'm so done.
I found it.
Yes, you did. You found it. You found the fanfiction. Congratulations. Good job. Round of applause. You found the fanfiction. The internet never ceases to amaze me.
Oh, we're gonna do that in our Vivi and Sedan voices. You know that?
Oh, are we doing a dramatic fan fiction?
Yes.
Save the fan fiction. I guess we'll read the fan fiction.
Doesn't seem that long. I'll try to find a few. Oh wait. After a few more thrusts, Phoebe's orgasm hit. His seed is spilled all over. Oh, this is gonna be great. His fingers were soon replaced by something much bigger. The fingers were soon replaced with something much bigger. Ready? Yes. Sedan pushed it slowly while Phoebe clenched up from the baby. Oh, this is gonna be great. Oh, I'm sending this to you. 1 second.
I didn't hear any of that. My phone like blocked it all out. It was like nope, and it like completely freaked out as you were reading that.
Nope. We need to protect your virginity or some shit like that. Alright, I sent it to you.
My phone was protecting me.
Oh.
Hey, what's your birthday?
August 4th. Why?
You are a loud fairy.
Okay. Oh my god.
I'm a definite unicorn.
This is so great. I actually have that favorited now. Congratulations for that. Oh.
My phone's cutting out again.
Oh.
It's getting worse and worse. There we go. You're back.
Yeah. Let's say it. I think I found some fun stuff now. Oh.
Are you excited to read Vivi and Sedan fanfiction?
This is the only time I've actually been like, oh my gosh, gay stuff. Like, this is just so stupid. I think it's just because like
Yoshiharu is so happy. Except that's not my OTP. Like that's not even my like pairing. Not even one true pairing, just a pairing. My mind has never been like I did not look at Sedan and look at Vivi and be like, oh yeah, that's the perfect pairing.
I am like the same opinion, but like I don't know. Whenever I talk into Sedan's voice, because for those guys who don't want to wait and or go watch the other videos or whatever, this is the voice I do for Sedan. I am the most sexiest guy in the world. I'm always coming on to you. No matter what I say, this is the voice, and it's sexy as all hell.
What's the voice I do for Vivi? It's like,
you do like
I'm
a little
kid, and I talk kind of like this.
You're a little bit more hesitant. Like,
I don't.
You're like more hesitant.
I talk like this. I don't know what's going on.
It's okay. I'll show you all the different things. 2 ways that men can make love, Vivi.
Done. No, we're done. Before that even begins, we're done.
Oh my god, some of this stuff is so twisted. Oh my god.
You're reading fanfiction?
No, I'm looking right now. Okay, actually no, right now I'm looking at like pictures and shit. And like some of it is like really, really cute, and like other stuff is like just majorly twisted. It's so funny. I love this stuff. It's just like so funny. Like there's a little bit of my childhood is dying inside. I'm just enjoying it right now. It's okay, Vivi. You don't have to wear a shirt around me anymore. I barely wear a shirt at all. I sent you a bunch of stuff over Facebook, by the way.
I saw.
I think this is a good time as anywhere to end the stream for the podcast. We gotta. So for those of you guys who don't know, we're gonna be having so much fun with this next week. I'm enjoying myself. Let's just put it that way.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah. At the end of the day, as well, guys, my name is Curdy Boy.
My name is TK.
This is been Talk Nerdy to Me, episode 7, Come back next week for his Valentine's Day special. Yay!
Yay!
God damn it.